What's up guys, Ethan here with another review video. Today we've got another really exciting laptop to review coming once again from MSI. They finally gave us a chance to review their Raider A18 HX laptop, which is packed to the absolute brim with high caliber specs that'll make any creator or gamer froth at. So today we'll be reviewing every ounce of this laptop to see what it's capable of. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. First up, the unboxing is quite simple. It being an 18-inch laptop, you have a very big box to look at. You open the lid, and it's a quick introduction to the laptop itself. On the right side, you'll get your power brick, that's a ridiculous 400 watts to charge, a 99 watt-hour battery, and of course your Region power plug. Lifting the laptop out of its cradle, you'll also see some basic paperwork. So overall, a pretty straightforward and basic unboxing. Looking at the laptop cosmetically, it doesn't look like a massive difference compared to previous generation Raider laptops, but it still carries the highest quality standards such as a light aluminum chassis, along with some small high-quality plastic and rubber materials. You've also got the classic MSI logo in the back lid that can also be customized to any color you'd like. And speaking of customization, you also have full color control of your keyboard as well. But not just zone customization, but per key customization, which is great to hear since some other models have 24 zone RGB customization. But you normally just see that in the more budget end versions of laptops. But to be honest, this ain't no budget laptop, let me tell you. You've got accented keys as well for gamers out there, which can also be heavily customizable for color. The lights can also be customized in the front since they've managed to fit in a strip there as well. In the end, it's up to you if you want to make it more neon cat rainbow colors or super sleek and professional. The body of the laptop also has MSI's classic red color as accents all over the sides and back along with the bottom of the laptop. The trackpad is also quite big, which is natural since this is an 18-inch laptop. The panel on the other hand is a gorgeous 18-inch UHD resolution screen with MSI's mini LED technology. It also boasts 120 Hz refresh rate response time, which means it's extremely responsive. The ports are also quite extensive. MSI made sure that if a user wanted to actually use this as a desktop extension, they would easily be able to with the following ports. On one side, you've got two USB 4 Type-C ports that support literally everything from charging, vision, LAN connection, and more. You also have a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-A port and an audio combo jack. On the other side, you have an SD card reader and two USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-A ports. And on the back, you have an RJ45 port, HDMI 2.1, and your DC in. As you can easily see through a whole mouthful of slots, this is definitely something MSI thought of. The specs are also extremely high-end, which isn't surprising knowing that the Raider lineup is classed as MSI's second highest caliber laptop on their model range. This is packing the Ryzen 9 9955HX 3D processor, which is currently the fastest available laptop processor on the market at the moment. It's spec'd as a 16-core 32-thread with a max clock of 5.4 GHz and a default TDP of 55 watts. But trust me, that's not the best part. Since this is a 3D variant processor, you also have an insanely high L3 cache capacity of up to 128 megabytes, which is the highest a consumer processor has gone up to right now. This will ensure that games you play on this will have next to no stuttering for game processing. This laptop comes stock with 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM clocked at 5600 megahertz. That can of course be easily upgradable to 96 gigabytes if you want. This amount of RAM actually well and truly surpasses the usual requirements for regular gaming, to be honest, but this amount of RAM would actually become more useful for either light AI training and or heavy creator uses like After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, and Premiere Pro, for example. The storage as well is also high caliber, coming with a stock 2TB NVMe SSD that's Gen 5 compatible and a spare slot for expandability down the line. You might be thinking that Gen 5 under heavy conditions can get really hot, but MSI thought about this and actually implemented a Gen 5 SSD heatsink over the slot to ensure that cooling will be super effective and so that you won't have to worry about any thermal throttling. And to top this off, this laptop is carrying the most powerful GPU on the market right now for laptop consumers, which is the RTX5090. This card is a ridiculous 24GB VRAM GPU that has 1824 AI TOPS, which will come in handy with the new DLSS 4 and frame generation that we'll actually be testing a little bit later in the video, so stick around for that. Specs out of the way though, let's actually get into some testing. We have a couple areas to cover, but the first is thermals. I used a software called OCCT and started to stress test on all components to really get the laptop cooking, so to speak. I left it out for about 10 minutes before I started reading temps. The top areas seemed to reach no higher than 40 degrees at the very top of the body, which is normal for temperature standards. The keyboard area as well had some good temperature readouts, only reaching around 32 degrees. So good news is that your hands aren't going to sweat up in tense 1v1 situations. The bottom of the laptop had the most heat buildup, but to be honest, this is very normal with how they designed their exhaust fans. In some areas, it would reach a toasty temp of 45 degrees, but this is when the laptop is firing at all cylinders, so regular gaming wouldn't get this hot. Overall though, having these sort of temps with the laptop
without being absolutely stressed is not a bad outcome at all.
Second up is the webcam. This is quite expected. This is just carrying a full HD resolution 30 FPS camera with built-in 3D noise reduction. Next up, we wanted to test the capabilities of AI with Geekbench AI. Now, bear in mind with us, since this section of testing is still rather new to us, but here are the results.
Here are 3 scores: quantized, single precision, and half precision scores. In simple terms, quantized is measured in relation to AI solving lots of simple puzzles. Single precision is for solving harder and more complex puzzles, and half precision is more for lower and less accurate puzzle solving. This software essentially simulates a super compressed version of an AI model. Overall, the scores indicate that this laptop would do exceptionally well towards AI photo and video editing tools, along with other platforms that's AI related, like voice recognition and translation training, object or face detection, and other smart AI features that require some stress related to AI training.
Finally, we're up to the game benchmarking part of it, which is what most of you would be here for.
Feel free to pause at any time as well. High settings were with no frame gen, DLSS, and ray tracing. The results are quite interesting since I was expecting a little more performance coming out of the RTX5090, but overall, it's not too bad of a score on all games. The second results are even lower, but as we all know, enabling ray tracing with settings maxed out and outputting to a UHD resolution does take an extremely heavy toll on any device. The third results is with DLSS enabled and set to balanced. As you can see, the amount of gain you get is not astronomical, but it's worthy enough to be playable. Although I would only enable ray tracing with DLSS if you're one of those single player gamers that prefer looks over performance. The final results are with ray tracing on and DLSS frame gen enabled. You can easily see the frame gen set to X4 is really helping out with each game's performance outputs in a tremendous way. This is where the 50 series cards shine, and that's with these features switched on. What's even better is that you can turn the resolution down to Quad HD. I wouldn't be surprised if the scores here would double, but it's entirely up to the user. Overall though, you can see that these benchmarking results reflect the large potential output for AI power graphics. But what do you guys think? You reckon all graphic related power will now be properly shifted towards AI integration? Or do you think Nvidia will step away from that innovation and go back to raw power?
When it comes to the software side of things, it's pretty generic for a game-themed MSI laptop. For example, you have MSI Center, where you can select a multitude of settings like component tuning, BIOS and driver updates, personal cosmetic customization, and many other features. MSI also offers SteelSeries GG to fully customize your per-key RGB keyboard. Overall though, the software side of things hasn't changed too much on this laptop compared to all the other gaming devices that they have in their lineup.
When it comes to all the data we received, we've put them into our final verdict table. In the end, this laptop scored highly in all areas. We gave it a collective score of 91.5. This is honestly very expected with a laptop at this caliber. Although if I had to pick one small con about the laptop, I'd be narrowing it straight down to that insanely beefy power adapter. Since it's a very demanding laptop, it needed something in the high wattage range. Hopefully MSI comes up with something to make that adapter smaller for their later models. Besides that, this laptop definitely gets an extreme power badge from us at Epic PC. Like always, well done MSI.
In conclusion, this laptop packs a punch and a half when it comes to processing and graphical power. If you're looking for an absolute beast of a device to successfully do any tasks you throw at it and more, then this laptop is literally perfect for you. But besides that, we hope you enjoyed this video review and we hope to see you in the next one. Catch you later.